Hey everybody, I wanted to touch base on reverse mortgages this week. I'm going to make a few different videos because I'm going to try to break it down in a few different ways to look at reverse mortgages. But this first one, I wanted to try to make it as basic as possible. What is a reverse mortgage? And for the most part, in everybody's case, it's a home equity line of credit. It's all it is. There's nothing mysterious about it. There's nothing crazy dangerous about it. It's a mortgage. That's all it is. It's a deed of trust. You still own your house. There's so many misconceptions out there on what reverse mortgages are. So just think about it as a home equity line of credit. My example here, if you owned a house worth $500,000, they'll give you about half the value of the house, depending on your age and where interest rates are at, some other little factors like that. But we're going to keep it simple right now. So in a nutshell, it's a home equity line of credit, just like a credit card, except it's secured by your house. You have a credit limit, and then you have your balance that you owe. So my example here, $500,000 house. There's $500,000 worth of equity. If you sold the house, you get $500,000 minus the fees for the realtors and everybody else. In this case, you're not selling your house. You still own your equity. You're getting a new mortgage, and they're giving you access to about half the value of the house, therefore a $250,000 line of credit. Now, there's going to be some fees involved, so we're filling up that credit balance a little bit. So we've added some balance because of fees. Yes, there are fees to set up a reverse mortgage. And now, let's say we had a mortgage. We only owed about $115,000, so we paid off that existing mortgage. That's the most common reason to do a reverse mortgage, is to pay off an existing mortgage, because now we're not going to have any mortgage payments. That's a real big deal when it comes to retirement and a budget and being able to go enjoy your retirement. But hey, maybe down the line we need a car, and so we buy a car and then pay $40,000 for it. So now we owe about $165,000. We still have a $250,000 credit line, right? So we owe $165,000. We've got $250,000 that we can access. So that means we are paying interest, not paying, we're accruing interest on what we owe, but not that credit limit. That credit limit actually grows too. So you have a balance that's growing on what you've borrowed, but you also have a credit limit that's growing as well, as long as there's still a credit limit available. Okay. So what happens if we sell the house? That's right, you're allowed to sell the house. Well, we have to pay back the $165,000 that we borrowed. It's the first thing we got to do, plus any interest that accrues, because we weren't paying payments along the way. And the interesting thing that I've talked to a lot of people about when they're making mortgage payments in retirement, if you're pulling it from your savings, if you're taking $1,000 a month out of your savings and then paying a $1,000 mortgage payment, you're really pulling $1,000 from your savings, paying taxes on it. If it's invested properly, hopefully you're going to owe some taxes on that, because that means it grew or it came from your IRA. So $1,000 turns into $900, and then you make that payment and you realize only $200-300 went to principal. You just cashed out $1,000 of invested money and turned it into $200-300 worth of equity. And in no way does that make any sense for a retiree. Okay, so we do have to look at this a bit logically. We also have to understand that a regular 30-year mortgage, a traditional mortgage, is amortized. It's all front-loaded with the interest. So if you got this mortgage in the last few years, sure, it's a lower interest rate, but they pushed all the interest into the first 10-15 years. Okay, whereas this reverse mortgage, yes, you are going to owe the interest. You're just going to owe the interest when you choose to sell, right? So what happens if you pass away? I can sell, I can pay off what I borrowed, I can pay off the interest that I didn't have to make payments on, which, by the way, is not amortized, because they can't amortize it. It's only the simple interest calculation on what's owed each month. That's it. Okay, so they're not front loading this interest. It's actually better, right? This is way better for retirees when we look at it that way. So what happens if I pass away? Well, my heirs will inherit the house. They will have a year to get that thing sold, pay back what you borrowed plus the interest that had accrued. Okay. Well, what happens if I'm upside down? What happens if my heirs inherit this house and I owe $1 million on a $200,000 house? Well, in writing from the government in an FHA home equity conversion mortgage, which is known as a reverse mortgage, it is a non-recourse loan. The balance owed will never exceed the value of the house. The only way it will ever be paid back is through the sale of the house. If you're upside down, you can just let the bank sell it for you. They'll sell it at auction for pennies on the dollar, and then HUD will come in and make them full, pay off the difference. Okay? You can't be upside down when you have a reverse mortgage. So hopefully this conceptually starts helping form what a reverse mortgage is. Keep an eye out for the other videos. I'm going to talk about ways to use the reverse mortgage, talk about a lot of the other aspects of the reverse mortgage, one video at a time. I want to try to keep it simple because there's so many misconceptions on these reverse mortgages. And honestly, it's just a line of credit you have access to. You don't make payments until you sell the house or pass away and your heirs inherit it and they have to sell the house. That's the only way these things get paid back. There's nothing wrong with these things. There's nothing scary about these things. But if you take that $250,000 line of credit, you pull the money out, go to the casino and lose every penny, please don't blame the reverse mortgage. If you forget to pay your property taxes because you still own your house and you lose your house, you can't blame the reverse mortgage. Because this is where all these rumors get started. Oh, Sally Joe down the street lost her home because she got a reverse mortgage. No, it's never the complete story. Somebody did something else wrong. It was not the reverse mortgage. Okay. All right. Hopefully that helps. I appreciate you joining us. If you haven't subscribed, please do. We're up over 200 subscribers and still going. Really appreciate the support. I'm adding videos every week, so keep an eye out for additional reverse mortgage videos. There's a lot of ways you can utilize this to enhance a retirement, fix a retirement, and survive in retirement. Okay, this is not just for the survivals. This is for people that want to enhance their retirement too. So that's probably the next reverse mortgage video, is ways to use the reverse mortgage as a good financial tool. All right. Thanks again. If you're looking for our full education, you could always find our nonprofit organization. The website is fpfeaz.org, fpfeaz.org. The schedule for all of our full in-person classes and over Zoom classes is on there. But the shorter videos, all this wonderful YouTube stuff, this is my new favorite place. So I'm, again, adding new content every week. Always appreciate it. Send some comments below and I'll keep the videos coming. Thanks again.